we are going to talk about success mindset today. Let's first understand what is a mindset, right? Okay, to talk about mindset, I need a volunteer. Just a second. Just a second, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. Is the PPT visible, sir? Professor Dhamija, is the PPT?
It was visible earlier, but now it is not visible.
Is it not visible?
You can share again,
Okay.
Yes, now we can see the PPT.
Okay.
It's a little smaller in size, but we can. Yeah, now it is okay. Now it is okay.
Okay. So let's talk about mindset first, right? And then we'll talk about how does it work. Can I have a volunteer? I just need someone to unmute the mic. That's it. One volunteer. Pallavi ma'am, would you be the volunteer? कुछ मुश्किल नहीं बोलेंगे. Okay. Pallavi ma'am, you just have to say silk 10 times. I will count, right? And you have to say silk, 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 silk 10 times. Are you ready, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm
For
ready.
everybody else, this is going to be a very interactive session. I want all of you to participate, and I want Utpala ma'am, yeah, sure. And I just want all of you to participate.
Yes,
Okay. So Utpala ma'am, you can switch off your mic now, and we have one volunteer with us, Pallavi ma'am. So Pallavi ma'am, you will start saying silk, silk, silk 10 times, and I'll keep counting. Are you ready, ma'am?
yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Chaliye.
Silk, 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 silk.
Great. What does cow drink, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
What does the cow drink?
What does the
Cow drink.
water?
You took a lot of time to get the question. Otherwise, the first response normally is milk. Had it been a prompt response, the response is milk. So what happens is that, when we repeatedly keep doing certain things, our mind start thinking in certain direction and it gets set, like the curd gets set or our jelly gets set, right? So mind also gets set, and that set mind allows us to function in a certain manner. So when our mind gets set towards excellence and towards success, right? Obviously, it is the success that we get. However, when our mind is in doldrums, right? We tend to have um, we tend to not be very successful in our lives. Thank you, Pallavi ma'am, and I also appreciate your presence of mind.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
now let's think about let's just think about highly motivated people. Can you name a few? अच्छा, motivated पे बाद में आते. Let's think about some highly successful people. Can you give me the names of some successful people? People you can either unmute and say it, or you can use the chat box.
Sudha Murthy,
Yes, Nidhi ma'am. Sudha Murthy. Come on. Use the chat box or unmute and say that.
Indira
Elon
Nui, Priyanka
Musk, better
Chopra.
Yes.
example, ma'am.
Indira Nui, Priyanka Chopra. Yes. A lot of women leaders.
No, no, no.
Ratan
I'm
Tata
saying
ji,
Elon Musk. I'm not saying Priyanka
Ratan
Chopra.
Tata.
Ratan Tata, Mukesh
Absolutely.
Ambani,
Mukesh Ambani. Fantastic.
and if we talk of youngsters, then Ritesh Agarwal,
Yes. Ritesh
then
Agarwal.
Bhavesh Bhati and all of startups, app aggregators. So
Indeed.
all generation, yes, and even sports stars, Virat Kohli, Surya, talk of the town these days.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. And can you think about some highly motivated people? Are there any names in your mind when we talk about highly motivated people? Energetic, motivated? Is the list common? Do you think
Kejriwal
is
could be
this,
the motivated person, ma'am.
sorry, ma'am?
Arvind Kejriwal could be the motivated person who is
Yes,
giving a
correct.
competition to the LG of Delhi.
Mr. Kejriwal. Who else? Give me some more names. Or can I say that the list is common? Like highly successful people are highly motivated people as well? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it? So,
Absolutely.
whether we talk about achievers or successful people, right? They are very energetic, they are very focused, and they are very committed. Can you think of some characteristics of motivated people? What do you think motivated people do? How do you think they think? Use the chat box. If you're not able to answer, please use the
Ma'am,
chat
they are
box.
resilient.
They are resilient, absolutely.
They are
They have a positive
enthusiastic.
attitude.
They're quite enthusiastic, inquisitive in nature. They are very pro learners. They
They are
Yes.
are
early
risk
riser.
takers.
highly ambitious.
Early risers. Why not?
Yes,
Yes,
they are
Munawar
early
sir.
riser.
Yes, Utpala ma'am. They rise. They get up early. Munawar sir.
They are highly
Highly
disciplined and
ambitious,
time
man.
conscious.
Highly
Ambitious.
ambitious,
Disciplined.
highly positive, highly energetic, highly
Correct.
idea innovative.
Creative. Very true. Excellent.
Very
So,
intrinsically motivated.
very true. They are intrinsically motivated. They don't need CCTV cameras or reminders. They are conscientious and they are on their own. Yes, Urvashi ma'am. Would you like to add?
Ma'am, they are very persistent person.
Very persistent, perseverant, gritty, right? They don't know quit. It doesn't come easy. Fantastic. So most of us, we know the recipe of success, right? So what are the issues? What are the problems that despite having all the knowledge, we are unable to apply it in our day-to-day lives? Like it all starts early morning. The first struggle with a lot of us is leaving the bed. We all tend to hit the snooze button. We all tend to oversleep and then regret and then beat ourselves up. And the pattern is repeated every day, right? So, you must have heard it before that knowledge is power. I disagree with that. Application of knowledge is power, right? Implementing knowledge is power. The internet is full, it is flooding with information and knowledge. But the thing is, just reading and assimilating knowledge is not enough, my dear friends. To apply knowledge is. Okay, I want some hand raises now. Okay, I'm going to say something, and if you agree with me, you can just raise your hand. How many of you agree? And kindly switch on a few cameras. मैं कुछ बोलूंगी, and if you agree with it, just raise your hand, right? How many of you agree that cows give milk? Cows give milk. How many of us agree with that? Swati Ahuja ma'am, do you agree with it? Dr. Sujata, do you agree with it? So, a lot of us agree with it. Well, the reality is cows do not give milk. You got to go and milk them. Isn't it? So, despite the fact that the resources are available and everything is just a click away, my dear friends, it's not going to automatically function for us. We have to put in some consistent effort, as you said, wake up early, do something needful, break our older patterns, right? Get committed and gritty to get the results out of that. So let's first understand what is excellence or success. Doing something that you like to do, that is very important. Then it's not a burden, right? Doing something that you like to do in the best possible manner. It doesn't matter how Urvashi ma'am takes her class. If Pallavi ma'am is doing it in the best possible manner that she can, it is success, right? Or it is excellence. So to do something in the best possible manner and constantly improving on that. Somebody said that successful people have a learner's mindset, right? They are pro learners is the word that I heard. Absolutely right. Right? So I'm going to say that cliched thing, which is becoming a better version of yourself every day by improving on your skill set, learning, growing, evolving, and putting that learning to implementation in the area or the zone that you really like to. And I think as teachers, we are very lucky that we are teaching subjects that we are good at. We are teaching subjects that we are interested in. Right? God forbid you tell me teach something in engineering. I'm a disaster there. But you give me anything related to psychology, life skills, and I promise you, I'll give you a good time in that. Right? And there will be some good take homes from that. So excellence is nothing in competition with anybody else. It's you versus you. I want you to use the chat box and write it down there. You versus you. Please use the chat boxes. Nobody's going to sit idle today for next 1.5 hours. Use your fingers, at least. Yes, please use the chat box. And those of you who cannot use the chat box, right? Use your message wala thing. Use your mobiles and send the message to people in the group. You versus you. Great. Okay. Now the problem is, thank you everybody for responding. What is the problem? That despite knowing that, these are the things to be done, what is kind of holding us back from implementing that? So here are 4 or 5 points, and I'm going to talk about each one of them. First thing first is current environment. And when I talk about environment, trust me, I'm not just talking about your physical environment. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about people you meet. I'm talking about books you read. I'm talking about the podcasts that you listen to, the food that you eat, people that you gel with. Everything makes our environment, right? So if you are in an environment, as we just said, which is supportive, which has people who have the learner's mindset, who are energetic, who are committed, who are persistent, right? I promise you, you will become one of them. Why? Because, again, I'm going to share something very interesting with you, which is we are sum total of 5 most significant people in our lives. I repeat, we are sum total of 5 most significant people in our lives, right? Now, quickly think about the 5 most significant people. Think about your best friends. Think about your family members, your relatives, your associates, your colleagues, okay? Whom you think are significant, your role models, people who you look up to. Think about those people, right? If they are high on energy, if they are high achievers, if they have learner's mindset, if they are creative, persistent, right? I promise you, you will automatically imbibe those things. And, if you're rubbing shoulders with lazy, with people who have no goals in their lives, they're just whiling away their time, right? And they really don't have much to look forward to in their lives, you'll become one of them, because we have mirror cells in our brain, right? And we imitate the behavior of people around us. So my suggestion to all of you, please choose your friends, associates, people with whom you spend time very cautiously, right? Normally, most average people will discuss people, right? Achievers, motivated people, successful people, they will always discuss ideas. They will shun. I don't want to talk about who XYZ, what is he or she doing. I'm not interested in that. Let's talk about something. If you have some suggestion to give, if you have a book to discuss, if you have, some idea to talk about. So please see, create a mastermind circle. Find out people who energize you, who can be your cheerleaders, who can motivate you, who can appreciate you, right? Who can give you something to learn with their lifestyles, with the choices that they're making in their lives. And I promise you, it will have a very significant improvement, and it will have a very significant impact on your lives. Right? If you read what is written on your screen in bold, to be the Mount Everest, you need to be in the Himalayas. Mount Everest will never be found in Aravallis, by the way. Only amongst the tall, you grow to become the tallest, right? So please choose your company, choose your associations, your friends, people you spend time with very carefully. If you change your environment, you will change yourself. I'll give you an example. If you have 4 friends who are fitness freaks, who go to gym every day, and they really sweat their hearts out, their bodies out there, tell me, for how long can you be overweight? You can't be. They'll pull you out of their beds. And in fact, looking at them, their eating habits, their routines, you'll say, damn it, what am I doing with my life here? Look how fit they appear, how young they appear, how energetic they appear. And look at me, slouchy, eating all, junk all day and not getting up on time. I got to do something with myself. And if you have friends, who would eat out every day, fond of junk food and make unhealthy choices, whether it is food or books or discussions or conversations, right? You don't have to work very hard. You'll start automatically, you'll start climbing down the fitness ladder, and you'll surprise, your weighing scales will tell you where do you stand. Okay, so my first suggestion to all of you, please become an auditor of your environment. If you think there are certain people there whom you do not really resonate with, right? They don't vibrate on the same frequency as you do, or you desire to do, right? You have every I would say right to choose, better people. When I say better people, I simply mean who ensure that you're growing and evolving, right? So what happens is, the second thing is blame game. The first reason why we do not improve is, why we do not apply the principles of success despite the fact we know we can, is the environment. Second is the blame game, not taking the responsibility of our lives, right? We are looking for justifications, explanations, and reasons. My parents did that to me. Oh, my brothers and sisters, oh, my family is not very supportive. You have no idea what have I gone through. I have had a very tough life. You have had a tough life, nah? It's behind you. What's the problem now? Okay, so we are just reacting to the stories that we have built up in our head, right? Where we are describing ourselves as the pettiest, most character in the world. Isn't it? Somebody who has had a terrible life, a difficult life, non-supportive people around you, and all that stuff. And we are telling the story repeatedly to ourselves, and we are palming off the responsibility to people outside us. Right? When is it that you're going to actually start driving the car of your life? When are you becoming proactive in determining which way do you want to go? Till when are you actually going to get shoved and pushed and cornered and elbowed by people around you? How long are you going to allow yourself to do that? When is it that you're going to actually stand up and say, okay, I'm done and dusted. I got to do it myself. Where is your remote control, my dear friends, is my question to all of you today. People are pressing the red button, you are behaving in a certain manner. They're pressing the yellow button, you're behaving in a different manner. A blue button, you're behaving in a different manner. And then, you're just putting responsibility onto other people. I'm going to share the shortest but the most profound story with you now. There were two twin brothers, right? Lookalikes, maternal twins. One of them grew up to become a very successful man. Another one was an alcoholic. And there was a scientist who was studying the impact of environment and genetics on twins. And he was really shell-shocked to see two maternal twins, genetical clones of each other, yet, polar opposites of each other when it came to their lives and their life choices. So he asked the first one, hey, what makes you so successful and what makes you the man that you are? And why is it that you are a teetotaler and you have made such healthy choices in your life? He said, because my father was an alcoholic. And then he asked the alcoholic son, that what has made you an alcoholic? He says, because my father was an alcoholic. Right? So rather than putting the blame on external circumstances, we can always utilize these external circumstances to become a person that we desire to be. Our circumstances need not always tell us what to do or what to be. Sometimes they even tell us what not to do and what not to be. Use your discretion to make a choice. Is this what I desire to become in my life? Is this how I want to utilize or waste my life? This beautiful opportunity called life? Right? So the solution for this blame game is take 100% ownership of your life. Enough is enough. Whatever has happened has happened. Right? The outside situations will not change. We could not tell COVID ki abhi tum baad mein aana, come later. We don't have oxygen cylinders. We don't have ICUs ready. Right? We don't have our frontline operators, health workers ready. It had to come. We had to wear masks. Okay? We had to make a choice of not stepping out of the house unnecessarily. We had to kind of physically isolate ourselves from others. So stop blaming the situations outside you. They are not going to change. If the sun has to come out, it will. If it has to rain, it will. If it is spring, autumn, whatever season of the year, well, it will. The nature will continue to become and behave in a cyclic manner. You got to prepare yourself. If it is raining, wear a raincoat. If it is cold outside, please wear two more layers of woolen clothes. If the road is bad, don't blame the road. Start wearing better shoes, guys. We have it all. If it is bullets and everything outside, right, wear a bulletproof jacket. Start making choices rather than choosing to just keep on blaming things. So take charge of your life, start working on enhancing your knowledge, start working on upskilling yourself and start applying what you're working on. I wonder why the camera was switched off for the center that was connected with us. Kindly switch on your camera. Arkaja Garg ma'am, could you please switch on the camera? Okay, now the third reason why we do not apply what we know is abhi bahut time hai. अभी तो we are just 30, अभी तो we are just 35, अभी तो साल शुरू हुआ है, the year has just begun, the whole year is there. यही करते करते I do not know how many springs are gone, how many winters we have lost. Right? My dear friends, now is the time. We have no guarantee. Okay, it's okay, Arkaja ma'am, please take care, no problem. So there is no guarantee. We have not come on a 99-year lease on this planet Earth. Okay, any time can be the time to wrap up and go. So what are we waiting for? Right? Being passive and retroactive and waiting for things. I told you, cows don't give milk. You got to go and milk them. Okay. Now is the time. Present is the moment. What are we doing? Either we are beating ourselves up for the past, or we are worrying for the future. And in the whole process of, being anxious about what has happened or what will happen and being sad about what has happened, we are losing on the precious moment today. Okay. Now, most of you would have seen a motorboat, right? You must have seen a motorboat in water. So when the motorboat moves forward, there is a walk that it is leaving behind. There's a trail that it is leaving behind. Okay, that's our past. My question to all of you, do you think it's that trail that moves the motorboat ahead? Is it the trail? Or, sometimes when you see the planes, when the planes fly in the sky, they leave a trail of fuel behind them. Right? That's our past. We are done with that. But if you're clinging to that trail, I'm sorry, your boat will not move forward or your plane will not fly forward. What keeps that boat moving or what keeps that plane flying is the energy, the fuel that it is consuming in the moment now. Okay? So if you are in the present and doing the best that you can and doing what is required to be done, the results, the future, the consequences will take care of itself. But we are so overpowered and consumed by, what will happen? Right? That we keep losing the present moment rather than, working, rather than doing what is needed. We waste that time in worrying. Don't stop doing that. Please remember, we are a society that is obsessed with results. Whereas worrying about results or obsessing yourself with results is not going to give you the results. My question to any one of you, please answer. What do you think is going to give us the result?
Actions.
Thank
Our
you for
action.
saying that. One word, action. And inaction is what we are always into when you're either worrying or sad or anxious or, upset. Worrying, sadness, anger, fear is equal to inaction. You need to do action. So my suggestion to all the teachers, to all the faculty members, stop worrying about the result, right? Focus on the process. What is to be done rather than, what will happen? What will happen is not in your control, guys. Most of you have done science, right? Newton's second or third law of motion. What does it say? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Do your action now. Equal opposite reaction will happen on its own. We are always bothered about the result, the reaction, what is coming our way. That's not in your control. What is in your control is how you are applying what you think is to be done, what is needed. So whenever there is a problem, whenever there is a project, pick up a pen and a paper and sit down. Keep breaking down the project into smaller, doable, actionable goals, right? Just like how you eat a pizza. You don't gobble and hog the whole pizza, wrap it and throw it in your mouth. You don't do that. You cut it into slices and you have it bite by bite. That is how we need to, take up our projects. Whether it is personal, professional, let's suppose, write down a goal, everybody. Please write down one goal in your notebook that you want to achieve probably next quarter or this 3 months. April is already almost ending. One goal that you wish to achieve in next 3 months, just write it down in your notebook. Okay? Now, tell me, just wishing to achieve that goal, can you achieve that goal? Just by wishing to achieve it? No, you cannot. For that goal to be achieved, you got to break down the whole process into small, doable responses, small, doable actions. If you want to lose weight, the first action that you need to do is put your gear together. Penna kya hai? What is it that you will wear in the morning? Put it all together. What time will you get up? How long? 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes? You will go for a walk, you will jog, you will run, you're going to join a gym, right? So break down the thing into smaller doable actions, right? And just apply yourself to that. That's what is needed. Be proactive. Stop procrastinating. Enough of procrastination. We have lost so many man hours just thinking, I have to do that. It could be as simple as, clearing your cupboard Or it could be as complicated as probably writing a research paper or writing a book. Isn't it? I'm giving one homework to everybody, and please commit it to yourself that you will do it today. Just take up one task that you've been delaying for a very long time. First of all, I want to hear it. What is it that you've been delaying for a very long time? Come on, put it in the chat box. I've been delaying writing a book for a very long time. That's my admission, honest admission to all of you. Yes, what is it that you have been delaying for a very long time? Come on. Use the chat box, please. And put your answers in the chat box. Exercise. We all do that, Nidhi ma'am. Absolutely. Yes, come on. Next, more answers. What have you been procrastinating for very long? A research paper. Okay. Research publication. I know that. This is most, oh my God. See how many of us are struggling there. I'll take it up with all of you. I'll tell you how do we do that. Research. Okay. So, when we are delaying something, when we are procrastinating something, right? Always think of two examples. One is poppins. If you remember when we were growing up, there were those Parle poppins. You know? No one can eat just one, though it is Lay's, but I'm just using the tagline to explain something to you. Similarly, think of the stapler pins. Tick, 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 tick. Everything in order, in place, right? So when you're delaying something, there are two reasons for that, my dear friends. Either it is too difficult or you're not interested in doing that. There is never a third reason about it. Either it is too difficult for you or you're not interested in doing that. Right? So certain things which are non-interesting, right? Normally what do we say? We say, I have to do that. My suggestion, change the have to with choose to. Normally what we say, I have to write a research paper, isn't it? Now, I want all of you to say, I choose to write a research paper. Say that. Without unmuting yourself, just say that. I choose to write a research paper. Yes. How does it feel, Urvashi ma'am, when you say I choose to?
Well, it feels motivated that now onwards I start writing the research paper.
Isn't it? There's no pressure. It's a choice.
Yes.
It's something that you wish to do. You want to do.
Yes.
Right. So anything non-interesting, anything dull, please remove have to with choose to. Right. And now anything complicated, what do? You simplify it. Right. You simplify it in such a manner that you keep reducing it. Reductionistic approach we use. You keep reducing it to such a step or such simple steps that there is no reason for you not to take that step.
So,
For example,
ma'am, I have one question. As you are taking it that it is related of the psychology, but I think it is related of the subconscious mind. When as you are saying that I have to choice, you are saying right. But I think there are some ideas whenever we will recall again and again, and it will be the manifest. It is the psychology of the mind. But when mostly whatever we are not looking and we are not thinking about it. But I think when we will think about positively about to complete our task, and I will recall it. I will do it easily. I will do it easily. A time will become that automatically a environment will create you, and you have to take the action. You have to take the action when automatically. I think it is the science of psychology, man.
totally, sir. Munawar, sir, it is science of psychology, and that's what I'm talking about. I know nothing other than psychology, sir. I have no idea about any other thing happening in the world. So I agree absolutely what you are saying, 100% correct. When you keep telling yourself it is very difficult, I'm not interested in that, why must I do it? It's something that I'm forced to do. Obviously, the distance between you and the task to be completed increases. However, when you replace have to, I must, I should, I'm forced to, with I want to and I choose to, right? the psychological distance between you and the task decreases. And that's when, that you develop a healthier relationship with that task. Right? And next step is pick up your pen and paper and subdivide. Keep on dividing and breaking down that larger looking project into such simpler tasks that there is no reason for you not to do that. For example, the first simple task that you need to do when you have to write a research paper is switch on your computer. Isn't it? Most of us are using computer now. Or open the book on a certain page from wherever you want to read or start reading regarding what am I going to do. So picking up a book or switching on the computer is the first step, right? Going to Google and clicking the search engine is the second sub-step. Writing what you want to do, few variables that you want to inculcate and incorporate in your research paper is the third step that you do. Right? Downloading few papers, which could be your reference points in the paper that you wish to write, is the fourth step that you do. Okay? So you simplify the difficult problem or the difficult project in such simple steps that there is no reason for you. Why aren't you doing that? Okay, so exactly like you eat pizza, you cut it down into slices. Similarly, anything under the sun you want to do, please don't look at the big picture. Cut it down to smaller sizes. It sounds so manageable. It doesn't feel overwhelmed. It doesn't cause any overwhelm, right? And when you are, like we're talking about success mindset, right? When you finish one small subtask, it gives you the energy to approach the next subtask. When you complete that, tick, you go up to the third. And, it becomes you must have heard of something called as vicious cycle. It becomes a virtuous cycle. Everything that you do, it gives you the confidence. Oh, I have done that. Now it's time to move further. Oh, this is also done. Now it's time to move further. Isn't it? And you keep on evolving and keep on completing your tasks. Then there is no reason for you to procrastinate. If it makes sense, please show me a thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up if it is making sense. Fantastic. Thank you so much. There are reactions, Nietzsche. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so thinking that we don't have, we have enough time, no doubt about it. It's a lovely life. We've got to enjoy that. And God is kind. We will live for very long. But friends, it's that, the intervals are not to be empty intervals, right? The intervals need to be engaging in contributing intervals. It gives you so much of contentment, a sense of achievement and a sense of satisfaction that you're accomplishing things day in and day out. The next reason why we are not able to accomplish things that we desire or we plan out to, or why we aren't able to apply what we know is, the stories that we tell about ourselves to ourselves. If one gift you wish to give to yourself, that is, start monitoring, observing, auditing your self-talk. How do you talk to yourself? What are the conversations that you have in your head? My dear friends, the 6 inches space between 2 ears is the breeding ground for all the success and failure that we achieve in our lives. It's called the mind. I think Dr. Munawar Hussainji was also talking about subconscious mind. I'll not go up to that level because we need a lot of time to understand all that. But simply put, what are the stories that you're telling yourself? Like, when you say, I can't do it, pity me, poor me, victim me, my life is terrible, I have no support system, right? The universe knows only one word, and that one word is tathastu. For those of you who do not understand Hindi, the word is so be it. So when you say, I'm dumb, I'm no good, I can't do it, I don't have enough time, I don't have the capacity to do that, people will make fun of me. Universe is saying, tathastu, so be it. The universe is like a waiter, my dear friends. When you give an order, you place an order to this waiter, he gets you exactly the dishes that you have ordered. So be extremely mindful of what is your order. So when you go to eat out and this menu is placed in front of you, you don't tell the waiter, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. This is what you're telling yourself all the time. I don't want to fail. I don't want to appear a fool in front of others. Don't give this waiter what you don't want to do. Yeah, give him what do you want? What do you desire? What do you wish to achieve? Put it on the menu card. Order. An order will be placed, and be patient. Once you have placed the order, it will take some time to cook. Okay, so let's be prepared. Patience. So very important, my dear friends, that the stories that you tell yourself in your head are stories, energetic stories, nurturing stories. Check. Just take a moment. Just take a pause and see, how do you communicate with yourself? How do you communicate with your subordinates? How do you communicate with your children? Many a times, more often than not, these conversations are loaded with negativity. They are loaded with criticism. They are loaded with fault finding. They are loaded with what you are not good at. Right? And if you really want some positive changes in your life, please reverse the story or make it more workable. There was this clown who was, performing in a circus. Right? He cracked a joke once. Everybody laughed. It's really funny. He cracked it again. Few people laughed again. Third time he cracked the joke, there were still a few funny, silly people who laughed. And the fourth time when he cracked the joke, somebody dumb like me still laughed. And then people lost their patience. And one of them, he said, "What's wrong with you, man? You're telling the same joke bloody 4 times and you want us to laugh at that." The clown had something very profound to say. He said, if you can tell the same sad story to yourself repeatedly over and over again in your life and become sad about it, become disappointed about it, become toxic and bitter about it, why can't you laugh at the same joke over and over again? So take a moment today and ask yourself, what is the story that you're telling yourself about yourself? Is it a nourishing story? Is it an encouraging story? Is it a motivating story if you share it with your children, your students, your colleagues and subordinates? Or is it something that you would not like to share or keep it yourself because it's a very sad story? Where you're only highlighting what is not good, what is not okay, what is lacking, where are the gaps. If that's what you're looking at, I told you, universe has only one sound, tathastu, so be it. It's time to take a U-turn, right? And see what is there learning in this story. Keep the learning, eject the story. Use the learning wisely in times to come. Right? And if you're not able to do it yourself, please seek help. There are umpteen psychologists, counselors, therapists available, coaches available who can help you, who can give you or render you a helping hand and pull you out of that dark space. They'll show you, give you direction. Of course, it's you who have to kind of walk on the path, right? So if the voice inside you is limiting your capacity, be willing to ask for support or guidance from people who inspire you. Read about people who have been change makers, who have had terrible childhoods and very difficult lives, yet they had the courage, yet they had the power to use everything in their favor and grow despite all the difficulties and circumstances. And then you and I will say, damn it, yeah, where was I? One such story I'm reminded of right now while I'm talking to you is of Arunima Singh. Yes. Anybody, have you heard this name before? Arunima Singh.
She fell down from the train at Bareilly Junction and then artificial limb, she climbed the Mount Everest.
Correct. So she was an athlete, friends, and she was traveling in a local train and some goons pushed her out of the train and she lost her limb. Imagine an athlete, a young 21, 22-year-old girl, lost her limb, right? And she was lying there, and somebody took her to the hospital, and it would have taken her days to become conscious and get back to understand what has happened to her. And at that time, the limb was to be amputated, and doctor told her, you leave alone running, you can't even walk after this. But she decided that she is going to be a mountaineer, a mountain climber. And she called up Bachendri Pal and she told her, ma'am, I want to reach the Mount Everest. I want to climb the summit. She said, you've already climbed it, girl, with an amputated limb. If you are thinking of doing a task like that, you are already there. And her training began, and, with all the hard work and everything that it took, she actually climbed the Mount Everest. And that's not it. By now, she has climbed most of or all of the high peaks in the world, and she has registered her name amongst the achievers in the area of mountaineering. Right? Tell me, is our story worse than her story? Is our life harsher than her life? Is our support system worse than her support system? Just think about it. Pause for a moment and think about it. Right? So stop being a victim in your head. We are all victors. Only the need is to be able to see ourselves as victors. That is so, so important. So today, most of you, I hope you have written down the 3 months goal in your notebook, right? Start working on it today and keep telling yourself how good you are, how capable you are, how resourceful you are in order to finish and accomplish that specific goal. That's what is called success. Success is not something huge or big. No. Success is the everyday things that we do, which for some reason we had been avoiding to do or we've been escaping to do, but now you're mustering the courage, right, to dirty your hands, to fold your sleeves and fold your pants, and you're actually ready to get into that. That's what is called as success. So stop looking at the bigger picture and larger things in life. They will happen on their own. Why? Because you're taking care of small stuff. Become conscious about the small stuff in your life. The larger things, I promise, they will take care of themselves. Here is a list of limiting beliefs which hold us back from taking either the initiative or persistently carrying on courageously on the path to success. Right? The first is, I might fail. Oh, that's where you start. Right? We start at such a negative thing that I might fail. I'm not ready. You will never be ready. Okay? If everything has to be perfect, keep waiting for the perfection to happen. Keep delaying, keep procrastinating. It is too late. Well, if it is too late, Prabhupada ji, who started Ramakrishna Mission, right? Or Krishna Mission, whatever it is called, at the age of 78. Viktor Frankl, one of the leading psychologists, he learned to fly the plane at the age of 93. Right? I'm forgetting the name, but KFC, whoever established it, Captain someone, he was in his late 80s, yeah, when KFC was initiated by him.
Colonel Saunders.
Colonel Founders. Sanders, right?
Sanders, yes.
Colonel Sanders. Thank you, Dr. Dhamija. So I'm sure all of us on the call, I mean, we are much younger than 70s and 80s and 90s, isn't it? I'm not good enough. Okay, this is a story. This is a conversation you're having in your head. Universe only will tell you tatastu. So be it. If you're not good enough, take it. Beto par, kuch mat karo. My family does not support me. Really? We have done a zillion things in our life where family has not supported us. Our parents told us, don't bunk the classes, don't go to cinema, don't do this, don't do that. We did so many things there. And now when it comes to putting in some effort, we start blaming it on family. My family doesn't support me. Those of you who have love marriages, so many of your families would not have supported you, yet you went ahead with that. So now what's the reason, right? I do not have the experience. Gain it. Take the experience. You're sitting on the shore and you're saying, oh, I don't know how to swim. I don't have any experience in swimming. Go to a pool, hire a coach, learn to do the same. You will have experience. Yeah? Simple. I am powerless. Tatastu. So be it. Okay. So please look at these limiting beliefs and again figure it out. Which one of these beliefs that define you? Or they have held you back. They have anchored you. And it's the beliefs which do not let us live the life that we are meant to live. I'll tell you a small story again. When the Mahavuts, they bring the baby elephants from the jungle. These babies are tied up with a chain to a peg, right? And this baby, he tries repeatedly to get rid of that and to run away from that. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. He tries so hard, he hurts himself in the whole process, and there comes a time that he decides that I cannot do that. I am powerless. Okay? Now the baby grows and he becomes a huge mammoth elephant. And once, yes, okay, I must tell you that once he has become powerless, now he has decided and he stopped trying to escape. That's when the whole training starts. Because now the Mahavut understand that abhi ye kuch nahi kar sakta. He is powerless or she is powerless. And he grows up and he becomes such a huge, humongous animal. And all it is needed is to keep that elephant tied up with a tiny little, rope to any XYZ thing. And he keeps on standing there. So trust me, it's not the rope that keeps the animal tied up. It's that belief that I am powerless. The rope is so weak that even we humans can, can snap it and do that. Imagine the power, physical power an elephant has. We are all those elephants, we are tied up to our belief system, my dear friends. It's time. It's time you say enough is enough. Start trying. Don't aspire for perfection. It would never happen. Somebody is going to be better than you. I told you, it's you versus you. If you are getting up at 6 o'clock and tomorrow you get up at 5:45, you have won a battle. Congratulations. You really got to give a pat to yourself on your back. Right? If till today you were having 6 spoons of sugar in your tea, coffee, XYZ, tomorrow you have cut it down to 5. Fantastic. You have started your journey. Okay? So don't try to bringing any drastic changes in your life. That would never ever happen. Right? Everything is a muscle. You got to build it over the period of time. Show a lot of patience, show a lot of persistence in doing that. And I promise you will surprise yourself. As, Abraham Maslow says, everybody must be that they can be. We are not being who we can. Because we are telling all those stupid stories to ourselves of imperfection and powerlessness and, unreadiness and no support. Stop it. Enough. Change your stories. Had you been so powerless, you would not have been sitting here. You would not have been teaching in such, premier institutes in the country. Right? If your aspirations are higher, then don't sit now. Then just start working about it. Why are we complaining? Okay? So let's go beyond our limiting beliefs. Let's snap that peg today, which is tying us up and keeping us tied up to that. Yes. To be successful, we need an owner's mindset rather than a tenant's mindset. Right? Don't live your life like a tenant. That, okay, we are visiting here and there is no sense of accountability, no sense of responsibility. You need to be told, abhi aisa kar lo, do this, do that. Why? We are all grown-up adults. Yeah? Why do we need accountability partners, or why do we need people to tell us things? Because we don't have the sense of ownership. Our mentality is that of a tenant, that I'm only here temporarily and I will only do what has been told to me. There is no growth there. There is no growth in the comfort zone, my dear friends. Comfort zone is very comfortable, but there is no growth there. If you really wish, and comfort zone is all about safety, okay? Comfort is all about safety. Safety ka opposite is not danger. Safety ka opposite is growth. You come out of your safety zone, you come out of your comfort zone, welcome to growth. And to grow, you got to take ownership of your life. You got to take ownership of your decisions. You got to take a lot of initiative, right? And you can't just wait for instructions to be handed over to you. You got to be your own master, right? So my question to all of you today, now you got to answer this. If you don't want to answer this to me, please use your writing pads. What can you do to enhance your ownership mentality? What one step will you take to take ownership of your life? If anybody wishes volunteer, please share. What would you do? Anybody? Any answer?
I think talk to myself first.
Talk to yourself, okay. What kind of conversation will you have, Shrutika ma'am?
I think what I need is first
Yes.
what I aspire most, that the things.
Wonderful. So most of us till date were talking about what are we scared of? You know, what is causing fear? What are our anxieties? No. Today you got to ask yourself, as Shrutika ma'am says, what do I desire? What do I want? What are my aspirations? What are my dreams? What are my goals? What do I want to do with this beautiful opportunity called life? First question is what? Second question is how. And I have told you, I've given you the how today. Whatever you want to achieve, right? It's a project because it's a complicated thing. It's a long journey. Break it down to the chores, to the tasks that you can accomplish every day. Wonderful. Balaji. We will start loving ourselves. Very important. Charity becomes from home. You cannot give from an empty picture. If you love yourself, can only you love others. If you hate yourselves, if you despise yourself, if you're annoyed with yourself, I promise you, that's going to be a relationship with other people. Fantastic thought. Accept yourself, love yourself. So important. See, look at your screen. Most of you have come from science and maths. Start slow in order to finish big. Imagine 1 to the power 365 is 1. No change. Delta. Ille. Nothing. However, 1.01 to the power 365 is 37.7. Imagine if you start doing 0.1 of something every day for a year, you are 37% better than when you started the whole thing. 0.01. Imagine, it's almost no effort. Almost no effort, but it is making whole lot of difference because बूंद बूंद से घड़ा भरता है ना. छोटी छोटी बातों से पूर्णता आती है और पूर्णता कोई छोटी बात नहीं होती. It's the small things that matter. I'm telling you repeatedly, over and over again. You keep bringing big gifts for your children and you devoid them of small hugs and small compliments and small appreciation. To a hell with your big gifts. They don't care. However, if you are actually bothered about the small things in their lives, right? Small moments when they needed you, small moments which needed to be celebrated or rejoiced, small moments when they wanted to listen to, when they wanted you to listen to them and you've been present, oh, that makes a whole lot of difference to your relationship with them. Okay, so today onwards, change the way you approach the problem. The problem could be big, the solution could be colossal. Doesn't matter. We don't have to eat the whole pizza in one go. Stop living your life like you eat burgers, okay? You dig into a burger and everything comes off. Your plate is full. There is this aloo tikki and there's this tomato flowing there. There's this onion there. And there's this, salad leaf there. No, that's how our lives have become. Khalera, total. Right? I said, enjoy your life like pizza. Cut it, Pick up one slice, put some seasoning on it. Like we add those condiments and we add those chili flakes and all that stuff, right? Eat it bite by bite. I think there cannot be anything more powerful than understanding this towards your success. Next is learn to withstand quit moments. So you have decided that you want to lose weight. So when you lose weight, obviously you exercise and you are a mindful eater. You don't put everything in your mouth. Correct? You just open the refrigerator and you see there's a pastry lying this. Very tempting. You're looking at the pastry is looking back at you. That's your quit moment. That's when you say, chalo yaar, aaj kha lo. Let's have it today, kal dekhenge. The battle is lost. That's the time when you got to shut the refrigerator door and tell yourself, I'm not going to eat it today. I have walked so many steps in the morning. I really sweated my gut out in the gym in the morning. Really, I'm not going to lose 1,000 calories in my body just because, I like the taste of it. That's your quit moment. Okay? Every time you want to stand up just because you say that I am tired. Okay? Persist for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. That's how you build up, and somebody was saying, resilience muscle. That's how you build up your perseverance muscle. Right? You got to become the masters of your bodies and masters of your mind. So mind is like a waiter. Give it, place the order what you want. Okay? And body also, it's like an animal. You got to tame it persistently, continuously, by not giving into its instincts and giving into its, instincts is the word that reflexes. Okay? So learn to quit the moments. Create a vision board. What do you want from your lives? And then how are you going to reach there? Okay. Let me explain this through an example to all of you. Do you all use GPS? Yes or no?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
do? Okay. Now, GPS asks for 2 locations. Yes? What are those 2 locations?
Starting point and ending point.
The current location and
The destination.
Origin and destination.
correct. It's the current location where you are and the destination. And you have to give her such precise. Yes, Nidhi ma'am. And we have to give GPS very precise instructions. You can't tell him that just leave me near Haldiram, or just leave me near the electricity pole on that road. You can't tell the GPS that. You are lost. It will say signal lost, or it will say, sorry, I can't do that. Isn't it? However, once both the locations are put in, you just follow that stranger's voice, and she keeps telling you what is to be done on every intersection, on every red light, and this and that and whatnot. So a vision board is like where you are today and where you want to reach, and how. How will you do that? What are the sub goals in between that you would reach and you will create, and how will you accomplish those sub goals? Okay, so go back home. Take out some time for yourself. There are 2 homeworks that I'm giving you today. 1, you have to create a vision board for next 3 months. When I say next 3 months vision board, well, again, life is like a pizza. It's like a pie. There are too many slices to that. It's not just money and the profession, right? You can have health goals. You can have professional goals. You can have spiritual goals. You can have community goals. You can have financial goals. You can have relational goals. Feed something in the GPS. Then only there will be instructions to guide you, as in how to reach there. There's a Harvard study which said in 1979 There were only 3% people who were very clear in their goals and they had written their goals. And a follow-up was done, and there was about 30% people who had goals, but they had not written them down. Then the rest, they did not have any goals. These students were followed up for 10 years, and it was found that the 3% people who had clarity of goal and who had written down their goals, they were earning 10 times more than the average earning of, any of the first and the second category people. Those 3 people were earning as much as the rest of the 97% percent of people were earning. That's the importance of, clear goals in our lives. They give us direction. They tell us what next to do, or else we are lost. We are groping in the dark. Okay? And the last thing, actually, it has to be the first thing. Feed your brain on empowering beliefs, which is so important. When you tell yourself, I'm not good, I can't do it, I don't have the power, I don't have the support, I don't have the resources, the universe comes and says, Tathastu. Okay, done and dusted. Hatto, next person, please come in. Yes, tell me, what's on your menu? Right? So your beliefs, they build up your personality. Your personality determines the actions, whether you take them or you don't. And those actions bear you the results. So it's time we start working on our beliefs. Right? So you need to remove those cobwebs in your head that you have created after so many years of repeated, terrible stories that you've told yourself. Think about the good things in your life. Think about your accomplishments. Think about your achievements today. Everybody makes a to-do list. I want you to make a have-done list today. What have you accomplished till date? You'll be so proud of yourself. Right? So sometimes when, success bogs you down and you feel that, damn it, there's so much more to do and there's a long way to go, pause and ask yourself, where have I reached? And many of you will feel that, oh, where am I today was a dream once I had about my own self. I thought of being in a good college. I thought of being financially independent. I thought of being in a respectable profession. I thought of owning a house and a car, a family. Hey, most of us have it, yeah? Celebrate the goals that you've already achieved. Again, as I said, somebody also written, appreciate yourself for the long journey that you've already undertaken. Derive energy from there. If you have come this far, damn it, you will go further. Who will stop you? Your own beliefs, self-defeating beliefs can stop you. So today, this elephant is mammoth, grown-up elephant. Untie yourself from that childhood belief or from that younger age belief that, oh, this. No. Right? So important that you recognize your limiting beliefs. Most of the time, our limiting beliefs, they fall in the category of lack. I can't, I don't, I should, I must. Either you're lacking something or you're unnecessarily pressurizing yourself for something. So any statement that comes to your mind where a should or a must is there, I need to, I have to, it's a belief. I don't have enough money is a belief. Bank account dekho kafi hai. I don't have even resources. I don't have enough resources. I can't do this. I can't, like in business, I can't make sales. Sometimes it's there. I can't write a research paper. Or the worst belief, I don't have time. Oh, really? Everybody has only 24 hours. How come you don't have time? It's a belief. I don't have friends. I don't have associates. Really? Nobody? So recognize your beliefs and reframe them into positive statements. right? And I'm going to give you 4 positive statements today. The first is, I'm well. A belief about your wellness, about your health. I'm well. Even if you're unwell today, right? It's the body which is unwell, okay? Or a part of you which is unwell, it's okay. I mean, you're going to recover. So, I am well. Second, I am abundant. Right? Third, I am content. Fourth, I am safe. Right? So, the Three Idiots movie, where he said, all is well, that's also a belief, a positive statement, an affirmation. No matter how tricky or sticky the situation was, he used to tell himself, all is well, all is well. So when you're talking to yourself in a positive, affirmative language, the story that you're telling yourself, the order that you're placing to this mind, the input that you're giving to your mind, I promise you, the output, the result will be in tune with the input that you have given. Right? So make sure that you mind the language that you use for yourself, for your children, for people around you, because you will prove yourself right, or your children will prove yourself right. The more you tell them, nalayak ho, kuch nahi aata, you know nothing, ille you are, they'll prove you right. And then they say, oh, maine to pehle hi kaha tha. To bhai, jo pehle kaha tha, say something good, yeah. Say something, give a blessing, don't curse. When we are using negative statement, we are cursing the other person, we are cursing ourselves. The universe is listening and bringing back it to you. Finally, born on 29th January 1954, an unwed teenage mother in rural poverty, she spent her formative years going back and forth between her mother, her grandmother, her alcoholic father, and back, always struggling with her circumstances. It's a story I'm telling you. Her world changed for the worse at the age of 6 as she became a victim of child abuse, and for 7 long years, she had to undergo that. Being a poor black girl in America in 1960s, there was hardly a recipe for mind-blowing success this lady achieved, and yes, she was successful. Her unique style resulted in an entirely new form of communication and television. More intimate, confessional, despite being on national TV, her total empathy with her guest, often to the point of tears, created an environment where they felt more willing to share their personal stories. She popularized and revolutionized what's referred to as tabloid talk shows. Her show became the highest rating program of its kind in the history and was nationally syndicated from 1986 to 2011. She has been ranked as the richest African American of the 20th century, the greatest black philanthrope in American history, and the world's only black billionaire. She appears on every list of world's leading opinion makers and has been rightly called the most powerful woman in the world. Any idea? Whom am I talking about? It's Oprah Winfrey, my dear friends. I'm sure our story can't be worse than hers, right? But all that is needed is commitment. All that is needed is the attitude. All that is needed is the courage to untell the old story, to change the old beliefs, to get committed to your present and think about a future that you desire. And universe knows only one sound, and that is Tatastu, so be it, and your wishes are fulfilled. Right? So that's about all I wanted to share with all of you. I hope you found it useful, and I hope you found that there's some learning here which you can apply into your day-to-day lives. Thank you very much.